There's always been those times when I needed a breather, when I might need a quick break from being the leader. Cause I'm just human, you gotta feel that. We're all just here to learn, and every day we all put up to bat. If you're feeling down, no you ain't alone. And if you're feeling all confused, no you are not on your own. Don't stress.
Yeah, we're too blessed. Someone told me, babe, when the tide gets high, you just get low. Hold your breath and take it slow. Yes, I might get wet, I might get thrown, but I'll resurface all on my own. What? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my first YouTube video. Hey, it's lit. I'm so excited to do this today. Let's get this video started. Your first question: what is a Peace Corps? Peace Corps is a government organization that promotes friendship and world peace. You spend about 27 months in a country that invites Americans to come over and assist with different things like youth development, education, health, just different things. Next question: is it competitive? Last year, Peace Corps received 17,000 applications for only 4,000 spots. So, yes, it is competitive, but don't let that shy you away from what you want to do. Next question: can anybody join Peace Corps? Peace Corps does not discriminate against your race, your gender, your sexuality, age, nothing. Like, Peace Corps does not discriminate, and so by all means, apply, apply, apply. Why South Africa? So I can just go ahead and start telling my story. So my senior year of college, I was taking 2 independent studies and a history class on social movements. My major is history, and so I focused on South Africa and the effects of apartheid on the country currently. From there, I don't know, I had a trip that was going there in May, and for some reason South Africa just stuck with me, so I decided to apply. Now, during the application process, I started my application around December 15th. It was due January 1st, so of course I was late, but that didn't stop me. So yeah, I started my application process. As soon as I submitted it, they started asking me questions about my resume. Then I got an interview around January 15th or so, and then I found out that I was accepted into Peace Corps by February. What caused the move? I kept on praying to God about my next move after college. I definitely didn't want to go back home. I already told my mother that I was not coming back home. And I wanted to get some experience before I got my master's degree in education. What good is it to go to school and not have any experience behind it, and then you try to, you know, get a job, and it's just like, okay, well, all I have is these degrees and a little bit of volunteer experience. No, so I really wanted to challenge myself. I really wanted to push myself, and I really wanted to grow as a woman. And so I decided to go to South Africa. Did you join Peace Corps straight out of school? Yes, I joined Peace Corps straight out of school. I graduated May 2017. I left July 12th, 2017. I didn't want to waste any time and, you know, start getting in the hustle and bustle of working, making money, and then, you know, you get your little man, you got your friends, and then you just decide that you just don't want to go. Like, yeah, I didn't want to get caught up in the, you know, run around. How did you get picked? I lied. No, I'm playing. I'm not even sure. I just believe that if God really wanted me to be here, He would provide a way for me to be here, because for me, I didn't feel like I was that experienced, but I did a lot of teamwork activities. I was a cheerleader in college all 4 years. I was a mentor. I did some volunteer experience. I tutored. I did education classes before switching my major to 3 countries. I applied for South Africa first, Thailand, and Dominican Republic. So those are my 3 choices, but I was really hoping that I'd get into South Africa. If you are going through Peace Corps and you have got your invitation, make sure you complete your medical information early so you can be ahead of the game. There's no need to stress about it later. So during my interview, she basically asked me a lot of scenarios on what exactly have I done, how have I shown teamwork, how have I shown perseverance, integrity, like different character traits that you would want a Peace Corps volunteer to have. Also, along with that, you want to tell them that you are flexible. You want to be a flexible person to be in Peace Corps. It is a lot of stress if you are not flexible and you are not a patient person. Like, I can't stress it enough. You have to be flexible. You have to be patient. Things in Peace Corps won't exactly go as planned. And so you have to get used to that. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to pick up wherever it's left off. And so, yeah, you can't come in here thinking that you just know it all and you're going to do it this way and this is going to fix it. And, you know, you're jumping into a whole nother culture. And so you want to respect them as much as possible and not push your views and opinions on them. Do they pay for grad school? No, Peace Corps does not pay for grad school, but they do offer a scholarship called the Coverdale Fellowship, it's called the Coverdale Fellowship, and they have a listing of different schools in different states that offer the Coverdale Scholarship for Peace Corps volunteers, and so that is a way that you can pay for grad school. You get paid while in Peace Corps. You do not get paid while in Peace Corps, but you do get a stipend. And so they do help you pay for your food, groceries, living expenses, anything underneath the sun. Peace Corps does provide that for you. They do provide housing for you. So I wouldn't stress about housing. And then another thing, like, you're going into a government organization, you are not going to be left high and dry, and you probably don't need any money back from the United States. Because I was a whole college student before this, and I'm broke. So, and I'm fine, and I'm happy, y'all. Look, how do you get involved? I just explained this. So, another thing that I wanted to stress about getting involved in Peace Corps, make sure you do your history on your country. Like, the country that you choose to apply to that you really want to get in, make sure you do your history. In South Africa, they went through apartheid. You need to know these things because that's not something that just goes away overnight. It's only been, what, 20 years? Since apartheid ended. So yeah, that's a real factor. You need to make sure you do your history. You need to make sure you know exactly what you're jumping into. What do? I am an education volunteer, and so starting in January I will be teaching 4th grade and 5th grade English, and then I'll also be teaching 7th grade life orientation in South Africa. I'm building a library for my school. I'm writing grants for my schools, trying to get toilets built at my schools. Just different things that I'm going to be doing over time, and y'all will be able to see that. How long was the flight to South Africa? The flights, y'all. The flight. The flight was 15 hours, and that was like a straight flight here. So if you have to go through different countries to get here, it's going to be longer than that. But, yeah, so 15 hours wasn't that bad. I slept most of the way, and I had me a little bit of drinky drink, but we're not going to speak on that. Was it hard adjusting to life in South Africa? For me, it was a smooth transition just because, coming straight out of school, I really didn't have any, like, you know, structure anyway. And so the fact that I'm coming into Peace Corps, and, you know, you have to be flexible, you have to be open-minded. Also, we went through PST, and that's 10 weeks inside the country with while you're training to be volunteers, and you get to live with the host family. You get to try the South African food. You get to go to all the traditional weddings, tombstone unveilings, funerals, whatever your host family has for you to do, then you'll probably end up doing it. Peace Corps will take you to like the different museums that the country offers. Like, you'll go through technical training as far as learning how to work in your field, and you'll also go through language training for 10 weeks, and it is very intense. I'm talking about intense, like. And then after that, you will test to see if you pass your language, and that's just about it. Like, PST will prepare you for a lot of stuff that you didn't think would be going on. Like, this is when you learn how to bucket bathe. This is when you learn how to wash your clothes by hand. This is when you learn that you have to sweep in the morning. Different cultural things people do. Like, this is the time when you learn all those things during those 10 weeks. And so it is very intense. It is very hard on some people, but you can make it through. How has your experience been so far? My experience, well, first of all, I've been here for 6 months now, and my experience has been thumbs up. I cannot complain. I've actually really loved the host country nationals. The families that I've been put with have been amazing. Like, I can't express to y'all how well my mom, she takes care of me here. My mom back in my first host family took care of me. I'm talking about meals. I'm gonna show y'all the food that she cooked, okay? Cause she can throw down. She can throw down. Is it a lot different from regular black families? No. And that's why I think that I'm so like positive about my experience, because it is a lot like black family. Like, the food that they cook is like cabbage. Y'all know y'all love some cabbage. Chicken, beef, like it's just about the same. The only thing they don't cook is like macaroni and cheese, but I might put them on to some, for real. But yeah, all the traditional foods, they call it 7 colors. They make butternut, but it's kind of like sweet potatoes. And so, I don't know, it reminds me of the South a little bit. You know, I'm a Southern belle. Hey, North Carolina. How is it being away from your family and friends? Y'all have asked me this a ton of times. For me, being away from my family is kind of like being at school for me. It doesn't feel like I'm away, but it did hit me kind of hard when I was away during Christmas and being away from my birthday and not seeing everybody. During GHO, I actually lost a friend over GHO break, and so that really had me down, that I wasn't able to go to his funeral. It had me down that I wasn't able to be there. It really took a toll on me, but at the same time, if I was there, it would have torn me to pieces, honestly. And then not experiencing my first GHO, like, y'all don't know, like, that was tough, watching y'all snaps. Like, I wanted to jump through the screen. Like, y'all know I love y'all. I love me some NCAT. Have you accidentally done something that is okay in your culture but not okay in their culture? In South African culture, one thing that I will say that you have to do is greet. Like, greet. You have to wake up. Hello, how are you? How did you sleep? How did you wake up? Like, you have to ask those things. And these greetings can vary. Like, in Venda, you have to get down on your hands and knees and bow for if a man comes into the room. But in Sepedi, we don't have to bow. I say, Ralocha. And that means like hello, but it's like a greeting for an older person. Alright, so the next question is, how do you like teaching? I have not started teaching yet. I start teaching next week, and that will be my first class. Do you see remnants of apartheid in your village? Of course. Yeah, you do see those things in your village, especially when you're dealing with a rural area. And in the cities, like in the cities, they have running water, they have just different resources, but in the rural areas they don't have the same resources. And so my job is to show them and kind of figure out with them how to bridge the gap. That's my big thing. Peace Corps is teaching us how, Peace Corps and living in a village is teaching us how to bridge the gap and bring these children to the level they need to be successful adults one day. So the difference between South Africa and America, one difference I will say is driving. In the village, we do not have traffic lights. In the city, though, they do have traffic lights, but driving is still out of control. Like, okay, so what it was explained to me, like, you could drive 120 on the road and it be fine, but if you drive 180, you be speeding. In America, if you drive 120 on a road, you is dead. Like, you getting a rule ticket and you is dead. Cause who driving 120? I be so scared. I just be like, you know what? I'ma just go to sleep. Cause if God take me while I'm in this taxi, I don't even want to know what's about to happen. Like, that's how reckless they be driving. But similarities between America and South Africa, there is colorism here, and so you will hear some of the girls saying things to me like, "You're not black." I'm like, what do you mean? Do you see these big lips? Do you see this wide nose, girl? Who ain't black? Who ain't black? But no, they will tell me things like, "You're not black. I know you're not black. Like, look at your hair. You're not black." Or they'll be like, "You a yellow bone. You a yellow bone." Or I've had instances where I've like been watching movies with girls and they're like, "Ew, she's so ugly." Who's ugly? Her skin is so ugly. It's the same thing that they do in America. They shame your shade. Like, I don't know. We got to get out of that mindset, though. So I've been working with the girls. I've been telling them they're beautiful. Constantly telling them they're beautiful because they are. Like, they are. And it doesn't matter what shade, what skin tone you are. You're beautiful. Doesn't matter how long your hair is, how wide your nose is, or how big your lips are. You're beautiful. And that's one thing that I've stressed a lot with my girls. Especially my girls. I've stressed it a lot. Would you do Peace Corps again? Peace Corps? I don't know if I would do Peace Corps again because this is a long process, and 27 months is a long time, but it's also a short time. That's a big commitment to make. I'm not gonna say no, I wouldn't do Peace Corps again because I might just come back and do like 6 months or something like that. But yeah, it's a commitment. Whatever you choose to do, it is a commitment. Is the food homegrown? Yes, yes, yes. Like, the food here is on a different level of great. Like, when I tell y'all the food is good, the food is good. The food is fresh to the point where I would like cook some meat and it wouldn't even produce oil by itself. Like, it's just the meat. I be eating goat. I be eating fresh pig. I be eating beef. Ooh, nama ya ho ho. Have you ever meditated in South Africa? Girl, I don't think that I meditate. I would just call it praying. But have I been on my hands and knees? Yes. What's one thing in South Africa that has had you in awe? I went to this place called God's Window in May before I came to South Africa on my school trip. Amazing. Amazing. It is the most amazing view. I felt like I could just watch zebras and gazelles and elephants and giraffes just walk straight through and just roam the lands freely. Like, I swear I thought I was going to see that. Would you travel to any other places in Africa? Yes. I would travel to so many places in Africa. But my first place that I definitely want to go is Madagascar, because how close can you get to Madagascar without actually being there? It would be South Africa. Like, any other places you would like to go? So I would like to go to, I would like to go to India. Did you feel welcomed? Yes, I felt welcomed. I felt loved. Like, although when I got here, people were like, she's black though. But it was cool once they realized, like, Beyonce black, Nicki Minaj black. And my South African name is Zodwa. Did you feel like an outsider? No, because I had amazing family that really took care of me, and so I didn't feel like an outsider. And even when you do feel like an outsider, go hang out with some kids. They will make you feel right at home. How do you make sure that you don't look touristy? So one thing that I do is I braid my hair so that people won't notice. Like, that is a huge difference for me. I have hair, and a lot of people around here have short haircuts, and so including the women, or they wear dukes. That I'm not too touristy is I keep my mouth closed, because without my mouth open, they won't be able to tell I'm not South African. Another thing that I do is I keep a lie on deck. Like, I tell people that my mom is Zulu, my dad is colored, that's why I'm like this. Or I tell people I'm from Pretoria, and that's why I speak like this. I've had times when I just told people, like, I don't tell people my real name. I tell people my name is Zodwa, so they won't ask too many questions. Or just being with my sisters, and then they just say, oh, she only speaks English, and she's from Joburg, and da-da-da-da, so she doesn't understand Sepedi. And so, yeah, I keep a lie on deck, because you never know. How do they embrace American culture? They love us, y'all. Like, they love American culture. They think that we are rich. And I'm trying to tell you, I know some broke jokers, including me. Language and lifestyle. How is it going? So, me and language don't get along, okay? I speak very little Sepedi, because I learn better through experience. And so I go outside and I'll talk to my mom in Sepedi, and I have my whole sisters, they try to tutor me. I have a 9-year-old sister, she helps me, and I have a 16-year-old sister that also helps me with my language. But yeah, so language was kind of tough on me. It's been days where I've been learning language, and I just had to break down and cry real quick, because your girl wasn't getting it. But at the same time, I'm going to be here for 2 years, so I am going to learn the language regardless. Into the lifestyle. So yeah, I take bucket baths. That's like, bucket bathing is tough. Getting used to the animals is tough. Getting used to the bugs is tough. But it's manageable. You'll make it. Don't worry. What's the coolest thing you have experienced in South Africa? I want to say the coolest things are the parties in my village. Like, literally, for those who go to A&T, my village is like from suites to the healthcare clinic. Like, my village is just that small. My village probably has less than 20 houses on its block. Just one street. And then at the end of my street is a school. So my village is tiny, but at the same time, I got like 3 villages around me, and they be lit, y'all. Tombstone unveiling for a loved one that they had, and then after that, they party all night long. I'm talking about providing alcohol, providing food. They will kill a cow, they'll kill all the chickens. It is amazing. Like, it is so much fun. Have you ever came across somebody suffering from HIV? So actually, when I moved here, there was a funeral in my area for somebody who passed away with HIV. But as you know, you cannot look at somebody and tell if they have HIV or not. And so I'm pretty sure I've encountered a few people with HIV, but it's no way that I would actually be able to tell. And I'm not a health volunteer. Being Christian in South Africa, it has its plus sides, because most people in South Africa are Christian. I was supposed to go to church this Wednesday, but they said that the walk was 2 hours, and we would have to be in church for like 4 to 5 hours. And I was like, just stay at home, because I'm gonna get hungry, and I ain't trying to offend nobody up in a church. And actually, when I was talking to my hostess about it, she was talking me out of it, talking about something. It's too long. It's da-da-da-da-da. Most frightening thing about South Africa, the bugs. Yeah, I see some big bugs out here. Like, the bugs be on steroids. I'm talking about on some other stuff. So one day I came out my room, and I looked on the ground, right? It's on me. I seen this tarantula. Like, I threw a rock on it, and the rock bounced off. bounced off. I swat to kill. What's the best part about being overseas? The best part about being overseas is being overseas, bruh. I'm not at home. I get to submerge myself into a new culture and learn about them with the open mind and open heart. Like, that's the best thing about being overseas. Having to work a 9 to 5, baby, I work a 8 to 2. All right, so last question. What is my favorite food? Yeah, I love beans, and I love cabbage. Like, those are my jams when I'm at school. I love tin fish and rice. Those are some like meals that you will have while you're in South Africa. I love all the meat that they cook. One thing that I don't like pap. And pap is like the South African staple food. Like, that's the food that everybody eats almost every day. I prefer to have a little bit if I do have to have it. But for the most part, I don't like eating it because it reminds me of Southern grits. Like, it's like grits, but they make it hard so that you can like pick it up and eat it with your hands. And I'm just not a fan of it. But when I came back from break, I was craving some poppin' chicken. It was crazy. Like, all I wanted was some poppin' chicken, cause it's not bad. Like, I like pop more than I like grits, and I hate grits. I'm a cream of wheat kind of girl, or oatmeal kind of girl. So yeah, that's one food that we have a love-hate relationship, but it's mostly love, but sometimes I hate it.